Today we're going to look at the differences between collectivistic and individualistic societies, and even some similarities, but also how they all relate to child-rearing practices and the goals and expectations parents must meet to raise their children to behave properly for that given society. Collectivistic societies focus on the greater good, the good of the whole, whereas individualistic societies only focus on the self, or maybe even the people directly responsible for promoting an individual's best well-being. Something else to consider though is that both of these things can kind of mingle. They're not, directly separate things. They can blend a little bit. We can see that when it's explained by Bronfenbrenner's ecological model, where everything, affects the self reflects everything else in those different circles that we have been studying. On page 153, it actually explains where a girl is from an individualistic society, and she's concerned that she thinks she has these collectivistic characteristics, so she isn't quite sure what she is. But like I said, those two things can blend. And in her example, she does community service, volunteers, those sorts of things because she does want the good for everyone else as well as herself. So she can kind of identify with both of those different cultures. Something else, to kind of put it into perspective, we can think about it as in maybe going to college or even a big life event like getting married. For going to college, an individualistic society would promote it saying, you're going to better your own life, you're doing this for you and your future, maybe your family in the future. Whereas someone from a collectivistic society is going to see it as, if I go to college, I can better my own life while also benefiting the lives of my family and everybody else that's directly involved with me. So you can see how, although they're doing the same thing, they're doing it for different reasons. And they're doing that because when they were raised, that was what they were not born, but maybe raised to think because that's what their parents thought. They did those things for their families or the people directly related to them, whereas in individualistic societies, they did it to better their own lives and want the same for their children and are motivating them with that intrinsic motivation. Another life event, like I mentioned, like getting married. So you can do it just because you want to, maybe from an individualistic point of view, but from a collectivistic society standpoint, you're going to do it maybe for arranged marriages, or you're going to marry someone that is going to better not only your lives, but that of your families. So in an arranged marriage, for example, all those resources from one's family to the next are going to kind of merge or go back and forth. So you're doing that not just for you to benefit you because you love somebody, but also because those resources are going to benefit everybody across the board. So it's kind of easy if you think about those types of things, how you can see the differing standpoints. But we also must think that like the big picture of why children are different if they're raised in different societies is because every society is going to have a different goal, behavior of children, or a different expectation or norm that parents must meet when raising their children. So here in America and other European countries even, we are taught to speak out. And if you guys watched the videos already for the discussion this week, you hear and see a lot of the differences between the societies of the children, although they're the teachers and not the parents. But children in individualistic societies, such as the ones in the US and Europe, are encouraged to use your words, speak up, explain yourself. They're encouraged to share and do things like that, but they're doing it once again on their own, and they're motivated by that intrinsic motivation. Where in collectivistic societies, you see a lot of times the teachers are allowing the children to play on their own. They're not settling disputes for them. They want them to learn how to work with their friends and their teachers and everybody else, because that's what they're going to have to do later on, is figure out how to work out with everybody else for the best, in the best interest of everybody. So you can kind of see those underlying motivations of the different societies, especially when you watch all of those videos, but also if you just think about how parents raise them. Here, like I said, we're encouraged to speak out, use our words, explain ourselves, explain our actions, our wants, our needs. Whereas there, adherence to rules and listening to authority are really kind of looked at in a good light, as well as staying quiet and kind of keeping your concerns to yourself. So not only did I notice that from those videos, but in like the readings and just in general of what I already know about the differing cultures is that we just have different things that we look at that are important. So if we have different things that we think are important, obviously those motivations, those goals, expectations, and norms are going to be passed on to our children, and we're going to kind of be raised and socialized in different ways simply because that's what society sees and needs us to do. So that also ties into ethnocentrism, which we talked about last week a little bit, about how like you see things from your own culture and differing views and standpoints may be seen as wrong or different or weird. But when you understand like the underlying foundation of both the cultures, I think it allows you to kind of cross that barrier of thinking that something that's different is weird when you just understand that they have a completely different set of norms over there, or here even for somebody that's moved here or visiting here. So I hope that was a kind of clear explanation of the differing societies and cultures of collectivistic, individualistic, or both. So hopefully that helped a little bit, but thanks.